I am not a Nepo baby, contrary to popular belief. I've been getting DMs saying, oh my god, thought, do you come from rich parents? How are you affording your unemployment lifestyle? Guys, I suffered being pounded by my boss for the last 3 years in corporate NYC finance. What do you think I did with that money? Obviously, I saved it.
Hello everyone, Magbo Gaming here once again, back at Angry Guy's channel. I hope you're all doing well. And today we are going to touch on yet another interesting topic because I found this YouTuber. He has a very small channel. His name is Thomas P. Bao, 154 subscriber as of making this video. And he says why he's not looking for a job even if he's poor. So I find this very interesting because sometimes I feel kind of like, what's the point of me keep looking for a job endlessly when I could actually be able to build up my skills, working for different clients of my own, making videos for them and other stuff like that. Yeah, we're gonna go through all that and we're gonna find out what he says about this because I find this very intriguing. You do know that times are hard today and a lot of people are losing their jobs, and if you lose yours, you could be homeless in months or in weeks only. Yes. So you're going to want to prepare yourself with your skills so it could be self-sufficient and being able to provide something that a job cannot. So that's why we have the Angry Creator Academy that you could check for yourself if you want to learn how to use YouTube to leverage and increase your online presence when it comes to your businesses, when it comes to your products or anything. Then you could check the link in the description below and there will be a free blueprint as well so you can get started. Yeah, you can also check out Angry Guy at Rumble as well in case you want to check unfiltered videos from Angry Guy that he doesn't hold back his curses. Definitely check out what he says there that he is not allowed to say on YouTube. And if you enjoy videos like this and you want to keep up to date with new uploads on this channel, be sure to click the like, be sure to subscribe to this channel, and click the bells so you won't miss any new Angry Guy videos ever again. Yeah, it definitely will help us get more people to watch videos like these. So I think we can get started with this commentary, can we? Let's see what this man has to say about why he's not looking for a job now.
I was crunching numbers. I was thinking about my situation because I often do. I like to reevaluate things because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing expecting a different result. So I have to ask, is my current employment, job situation working for me, moving me towards where I want to go, basically? Everything in life requires a certain balance. You have to manage your time, you have to manage your finances, you have to make sure that you earn enough, you have to make sure that, you know, you're being responsible and taking care of the things that you need to take care of, but at the same time, you're also taking responsibility for your future, for your legacy, for the things you want to accomplish. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to tell you or what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about the numbers, the specific numbers, because currently I am below the federal poverty line. It's not because I'm really that poor. I'm just barely below it. But it's not that I'm really that poor. I just happen to have more kids now. So it shifts depending on how many dependents you have. If I didn't have the latest kid, then I probably would be above the poverty line in my income.
Okay, so this guy says that he has a lot of kids. So that's a lot of responsibility, if anything. Like, he's a father of a lot of kids. But the topic now doesn't make too much sense to me. Because if he's not looking for a job, what else is he doing in order to provide for the kids, right? So I guess this is gonna be very interesting to find out what's going on, because like, if you have a lot of kids, you have to make sure you be making more than enough income so you could be able to provide for these kids, because you are responsible for them. But if you're not looking for a job, then the chances of you landing a position to make you money to take care of the kids, just, I don't know. But we're gonna continue, and we're not gonna just jump to conclusion. I'm intrigued to see what else he's gonna say about this.
Gives you a rough idea of how much I'm making. But I recently started a new part-time job, and I've got another part-time job that keeps increasing, like the hours and the amount of time that I work. And I've got a new business that I started, and it's kind of like starting over, and it's got to take off, and it's a grind right now. It's the point. I'm not here to tell you, oh, I'm so poor, and give you some kind of sob story or something. I'm not trying to make you feel sorry for me. The thing I wanted to talk about is I was crunching the numbers because I thought, I have a couple of jobs. I like one more than the other, and I was kind of thinking about phasing out one at some point if I get my businesses to generate more revenue, more income. I might phase out of one in favor of the more lucrative one that I like to do more. I need more work. I need it to actually, I'm still figuring it out. And I thought, well, I came to the realization that I can't really phase it out. I'm not going to be able to just kind of gradually leave. I'm going to have to rip the Band-Aid off at some point. So I'm definitely not ready for that step. But one of the things that I was advised to do and that I thought might be good to do is just look around and see what's out there, You should always be looking at the next step. Always be monkey branching. Always be ready. You got to have plan B and plan C and plan D and plan E and plan F. I thought maybe I should just look for a full-time job, then I could get benefits. And the appeal of a full-time job, because quite frankly I don't find that very appealing. Most full-time jobs out there are the kind of work that I would not really particularly want to do, and I don't say that casually. It's more like I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, well, that is pretty true when it comes to full-time jobs. Every single full-time job in my area, from what I experience and I have applied to, is usually call center jobs, usually customer service types of role, maybe help desk and stuff. And these are the type of job that gets monotonous. They also require you to work at least 8 hours a day. So by the time you get out, you only have the evening to enjoy yourself for the most part. And I feel that a lot of these jobs just don't offer a lot of growth. You're gonna be working for the exact same wages for years on end, most likely, and you're gonna be doing stuff you don't like, and it gets demotivating, and you open your mind knowing that there's other options out there. So you try to build up your side hustles, your business, like what I did before I left the jobs that I used to work at, and it worked for me for a little while, for example, leaving that job so I could focus on my business stuff. But I do realize that if you're not earning enough money for you to at least pay your bills and to be able to at least enjoy yourself a little bit, then eventually you're gonna have to go back and find a job. And like what he said earlier, it's just gonna be a cycle. You're gonna be doing the same thing over and over again. You're gonna look for a job, you get into a job, you save up money, you maintain yourself in the job for a year or two. You get out of the job when you get tired and monotonous about it. That's pretty much my life. And then you're on a couple years of unemployment and trying to earn money from your business and stuff. And I'm barely doing just fine when it comes to that. I'm not close to being broke yet, but I would say I wish I would have earned a little bit more money so I could be able to do more things in my life that I want to do. And sometimes you feel in order for me to make more money, I'm hoping in God that crypto actually goes to the altcoin season so I can take an insane amount of profit, or I eventually land a full-time job where I could live stable. I could be able to do my side hustles on the side on the evenings, and at least I'll always have money coming in, even though it's not gonna grow that much at all. I just maybe invest into some cryptos, or maybe just save money for a rainy day, buy video games and stuff, because that's what I like doing. Yeah, so it's you're gonna be in a cycle and you gotta decide eventually, do you really want to work for a corporation, or do you really just want to focus all in on doing your own thing and hope that it works? And if you like something well enough and you get good at it, you start learning skills, eventually you could reach that point that you'll be able to get around not needing an actual full-time job. I'm getting there, but I still feel like I kind of need it. But then again, I'm gonna lose a lot of time that I could have used to build that up, and then have a lot less free time for myself, and not being paid as much as, you know, the inflation today. It's like you're pretty much darned if you do and darned if you don't. So yeah, that's why all these things I'm saying right now is for you to consider doing your own thing. Because why do you want to stick to a routine where you're depending on a job while you could be building your skills and being able to promote your business, your talents via YouTube or via the internet in general? That's why I urge you to check out the Angry Creator Academy in the description below with the free creator blueprint that we are to offer to you. I think at least you have nothing to lose at all by checking it out and seeing what it's all about, so you can learn to see if this is something that is good for you. Because let me tell you something, we are at a point right now where people by millions are losing their jobs, and they are kind of becoming stuck in this cycle where if you want to continue to work for a company, things are just only going to get worse, and you're going to be required to work 2 or more jobs, which will exhaust your body to craziness and not keep you fulfilled in life if you just continue that path. So if you can have money work for you, you can start investing, you can start your own online business or side hustles today with freelance, then you can have more control of your time. Just saying.
I am not a Nepo baby, contrary to popular belief. I've been getting DMs saying, oh my God, do you come from rich parents? How are you affording your unemployment like that? Guys, I suffered being pounded by my boss for the last 3 years in corporate NYC finance. What do you think I did with that money? Obviously, I saved it. Yeah, I saved it, wiped my ass with a little of it because my ass is so fat, you know, it needs a lot of green. But no, I live so below my means. I don't go out and drink alcohol. I don't wear designer clothes. I mean, I don't need to when you got a face card like this. But I just realized I didn't want to constantly keep working my finance job for the arbitrary accumulation of wealth. Like, it didn't mean much to me. My mind was being cannibalized. Like, my whimsy that I keep on me all the time just wasn't there anymore. And I was falling out of love with life because everything was just so autopilot and routine. And so I decided to quit. And it's not because I want to be an influencer or follow along with the journey. Let me build. No. I just wanted to breathe and relax and focus on NYC summer and focus on living. There's so many things that I've never done in my life that I've always wanted to do. And, you know, I realized I'm going to die one day and I need to do it. Like watching Sex and the City, watching Star Wars, learning to cook, running the NYC marathon. Like, there's so many things I want to do. And I quit my job to focus on those things. And until I run out of money, I will be unemployed, and then I'll get a job. Okay.
Anyway, let's commentate a little bit more before we conclude this.
It has to be like the right situation with the right boss doing the right kind of work. You know, it's not like you just strap on your job helmet and get into your job cannon and fire off into job land where jobs grow on jobbies. It's kind of hard to find like a good employment situation. It takes time and patience and hard work. But assuming that I could, I thought to myself, well, let's see. You know, the appeal of like, all right, fine, I'll just get a full-time job and I'll slog through it. I'll grit my teeth and go into the meat grinder, and this is just what I gotta do because I got kids. I gotta provide for my family. I have to do the responsible things, and, you know.
And that's why when you have kids, you are pretty much under an obligation to care for them and to provide for them. Because if you don't, well, let's just say a lot of very crazy legal consequences will be coming your way. And it's going to alter your life forever. So, yeah. If you really want to be free from all that, honestly, you know, rather you wait until they become 18 years old or more so they could be more independent and then you have no obligation to actually care for them. Or you just have to suck it up with the jobs if you can find stuff like that. But if you can find your own business, you can start building that up while you're working. Then when hard times are coming, you have something to provide your kids with, right? Yeah, I mean, this is why I don't have kids. Like, I could barely take care of myself. How am I supposed to take care of my wife and my kids if I'm barely able to take care of myself? So I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching this are in the same situation as well.
But the appeal is that I would have some security. It should be a regular thing. I would have a paycheck that I could count on. I know how much I'm making, and it's enough that we're comfortable to some reasonable sort of middle class standard. And I sat down and I've been keeping meticulous records of my income and expenses because that's how I am. I want to be thorough and responsible with my finances. I often get backlogged because it's so much work, and I feel like counting the money I don't have isn't as useful as spending time figuring out how to make more. So it's hard to convince myself that it's worth the time to catch up on bookkeeping sometimes. But I sat down with the numbers that I had from last year, so I have real numbers to play with. I know what stuff costs. And I thought about everything. I thought about, well, if I make more money at a full-time job and I have benefits at this full-time job, then I'm going to have to pay a different insurance premium. It's probably going to be about this much. I use ChatGPT and I use the internet, research things. I talk to friends. I thought it would be nice if we could have a better apartment, if we could have, and trust me, like it wouldn't be that hard to find a better place than what I have. I stay there because, well, it's pretty actually. It has character, but it's also really cheap, and I have really nice neighbors. So there's good things. There's bad, like anything else. But I'd want to live somewhere a little more comfortable. I'd want to have 2 cars.
I really don't blame, because like if one of your cars mess up, you'll have a second car that you can still rely on to get to places. I mean, that's the ideal way of living, but most people are not even able to afford that today. So yeah, it's like you hope for a better sort of living situation, and if you're not provided that when you are younger and you have family to support you, going out on your own is so much more difficult for sure. Now I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit to see if he actually explains why he's not gonna look for a job. So I'm gonna skip here. Basically, I will leave the link in the description below for the full video, so if you want to watch that from the beginning to the end, be sure to support him there with the link to his channel as well. So yeah, the channel Thomas Pibbo, very small creator, but the video showed up on my feed, so it's something I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for topics like that, it'll get pushed to the algorithm. So that's an example right there.
I mean, maybe in a big city somewhere, it wouldn't be that hard to find a job that pays that much. Maybe if you're working for a big fancy private school.
Yeah, but the thing is also the cost of living on a big city is a lot more expensive. So all in all, I'm going to say this right now. If he does get to the point where he explains why he's not looking for a job, I'm just going to assume from what I heard right now, it's because he's not able to decide exactly what he wants to do with how he's going to look for the job market, because like he's kind of conflicted with working full-time and he doesn't have too much going for it. Like if you work a full-time job for under $20 an hour in the United States of America today, that's not gonna help too much because the cost of living is so much more higher. The cost of living and inflation continues to go up while wages stay stagnant. So you kind of wonder, why am I looking for a crappy job? Why am I wasting this much time to look for jobs that's not going to do much for me, and they're going to use up all of my time almost, and then they're going to pay me next to peanuts? The wages are crap. So there isn't much opportunities for me to like grow or build wealth because everything is getting more expensive and I'm not able to save as much as I used to. So it's like you gotta find different ways to up your game and up your money pretty much. Well, that's all I have to say about this. Definitely consider the Angry Creator Academy. If Thomas Pitbull finds this video, I hope that he watches this and that this will be helpful for him so he could be able to learn how he could make his own like niche online and be able to get the clients he needs so he could maintain his online business. It takes a while, yes, but the best time to get started is right now. And if you enjoy these type of videos and you agree to what has been said in this video in general, be sure to leave the like button, be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell next to it so you won't miss any Angry Guy video ever again. And be sure to check out his Rumble as well if you want to check out more unfiltered content from Angry Guy. And I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Magbo out. Check out my channel as well if you're into gaming too. If you're into me hunting down video games for my collection stuff and me talking about video games in general, especially Nintendo. I hope that this is something that you can enjoy. Anyway, that's all I have to say, and I'll see you all in the next one. Magbo out. Peace. Bye-bye.